Captain Harlan stood silently on the dock as we prepared to leave. Before we pushed away, he offered us one final warning. "You'll know Castle Blackstone when you see it. Pray you don't." There was no humour in his voice. We thanked him for everything he had done for us, then drifted silently into the black waters of the Mere of Dead Men. The swamp was strangely beautiful beneath the full moon. Ancient cypress trees stretched from the water like forgotten guardians, their branches draped with curtains of grey moss. Around us, frogs croaked in the distance, while insects filled the humid air with their endless song. Yet beneath all those sounds, there was an uneasy silence, the feeling that something was watching us. Oak and Arsel volunteered to keep watch from opposite ends of the barge. Oak leaned quietly against the railing, the faint glow of his pipe the only light aboard the vessel. Then he stopped. Without taking his eyes off the water, he quietly asked, "Nithra, do you see that?" She followed his gaze. Floating just above the surface of the water were two pale yellow eyes, watching us. No ripples, no movement, just two eyes suspended in the darkness. For several long moments, no one spoke. Then, the eyes slowly disappeared beneath the water. Every conversation ended. Every paddle stroke suddenly seemed too loud. Minutes passed in complete uncertainty. Every ripple made us tighten our grip on our weapons. Every shadow beneath the surface looked like it might be the creature returning. Even Cheddar sensed the danger, pacing nervously across the deck before climbing into Freya's arms, trembling. The swamp itself seemed to be holding its breath. Then, without warning, the entire barge exploded upward as something massive slammed into it from beneath. The giant crocodile. The very beast that had dragged Ian beneath these cursed waters. It erupted beside the barge, its scarred head rising over the railing as water poured from rows of jagged teeth. The force of the impact threw us all toward one side of the deck, sliding helplessly toward those waiting jaws. Oak and Brutax threw themselves forward, grabbing anyone they could before they disappeared into the monster's mouth. But Brutax wasn't fast enough to save himself. The crocodile caught him.
When those jaws closed around me, I thought I was already dead. Then I remembered Ian. I remembered Broderick. I remembered everything that beast had taken from us. Something inside me broke. I wasn't afraid anymore. I raged, tore myself free, and drove my hammer into its skull until it finally fled back into the swamp.
The beast disappeared beneath the black water, leaving only blood swirling across the surface. As dawn slowly broke, the fog parted just enough for us to see Castle Blackstone rising from the swamp. Its ancient walls crawled with goblins and orcs, while dragon cult banners hung from broken towers. As we watched from the reeds, another barge quietly disappeared beneath the castle through an old stone aqueduct, carrying stolen treasure below. We decided not to approach openly. I tied a rope to one of my arrows and sent it into a cypress tree along the shore, allowing us to quietly pull our own barge out of sight while Brutax secured it among the roots. Searching the shoreline, we discovered a rusted sewer grate hidden beneath tangled vines. After carefully inspecting it, we silently forced our way through the old iron bars and entered the forgotten tunnels beneath Castle Blackstone. Still completely undetected. Minerva and I scouted ahead while the others waited. When we reunited, Minerva revealed she had found a torn fragment of an old dungeon map. Following the fresh tracks of treasure carts, we eventually reached an underground harbour where goblins and orcs unloaded stolen treasure. Rather than fight them, Minerva smiled. Little Mister hopped onto her shoulder. Moments later, somewhere down the corridor came the unmistakable voice of a goblin shouting,
Oi, hurry up! Somebody found a whole barrel of fresh ale, and the salted pork ain't gone bad yet. Get over here.
Every goblin rushed toward the voice. Hidden behind old barrels, we waited patiently until they disappeared. Then we quietly stole their boat, crossed the underground canal ourselves, and followed the trail of treasure deeper into the ruins. It led us into a massive stone chamber. Fresh cart tracks disappeared beneath two enormous locked doors. Whatever lies beyond them is where our story will pick up next.